I would also like to pay tribute to my constituent Ruth Perry, who was an outstanding head teacher, and the events at Caversham Primary must, in my opinion, never be allowed to happen again. And I would also like to commend the work by Julia Waters, Ruth's sister, local campaigners, heads in the Reading area, and others across the country who've listened and called for Ofsted Reform. I would like to offer my wholehearted support for an end to the single word judgment and for wider Ofsted Reform, as mentioned by my honourable friend on the front bench. So could I ask the Chair what steps he believes the government should take now, given its unfortunate announcement this morning, and whether he believes that DfE and Ofsted's response so far has been remotely adequate, including, in particular, the use of a former Chief Inspector to mark Ofsted's own homework, and continuing to unfortunately ignore the concerns raised by him and by the coroner about this very serious matter.
Well, I'm grateful to the honourable gentleman for the way that he's engaged on this and for the championing, quite rightly, of the interests of his late constituent and her sister, who I have to say I think has engaged in good faith throughout this process. I know that she's had meetings with the Secretary of State and with the new Chief Inspector of Ofsted, and I know that she isn't satisfied that this goes far, but the government has gone far enough to date. I urge both the government and Ofsted to ensure, as we've said, that the big listen is a genuine process that takes nothing off the table. And that they do respond in depth to the feedback on that. And when it comes to the independence of the person who's been appointed to look into that, I think it's absolutely legitimate for his constituents to raise concerns on that front. But equally, I would point out that other organisations, including the NEU, not notably friends of Ofsted, have actually praised the appointee for their independence. So I think this is something that will have to be considered carefully. I think it's vital that the process itself shows that it is conducted independently of both the current and former management of Ofsted, and shows that it can offer genuine insights into what went wrong at Caversham and how that can be put right. But I think it is important to acknowledge some of the changes which were in both the Ofsted and the government's response today in terms of steps that have already been taken to provide better support to head teachers in the future, and to change that approach to schools being rated inadequate on one factor so that they do get the opportunity to be re-inspected. And I think it is worth putting on the record that subsequent to re-inspection, Caversham Primary was then rated good, and that is something that I think shows that that approach can and should work.